Okay, guys, welcome to another Wudowdy video for the Wudowdy Academy. It is tied to stuff on the Shofar Garyaga channel, so probably what I'll do is I'll link it from the next video there to this video. And today we're just going to talk about this equation up there. 0 plus 1 is 1. This is the beginning of the so-called Fibonacci sequence, which the Chinese knew about a long, long time ago. And in particular, let's focus on the origin of this discussion, which is this Nordic symbol here that's repeated around the world, which we call a Vajra or a trident, and is actually something that was seen in the sky. And this, in particular, when you take this and you multiply it, and you have 8 of them going around. I'm going to butcher this saying, but it is a Nordic symbol called like the Asgal Yalmer. I'm sorry, I'm not very good with Nordic words. There's a guy, Dr. Jackson, you can watch his channel. He's got all that handled down. But if you take that, and again, you rotate it around just like the Bagua in Chinese, you will see this. And the cause of that formation is related to the back in Zep Tepi and the things that were seen in the sky. You'd have to go to the Thunderbolts channel. So anyways, when we zoom out here, we're talking about plasma, as I said, proven by Dr. Anthony Peratt at Los Alamos Laboratories. And here we've got, an anode and a cathode. And you've got energy reaching. Well, look at this formation in the center. Isn't that fascinating? Okay, now remember that these are toroids in the sky. And so you have an electric field moving this way, which causes a B field, which then, with these toruses, as proven in lab, you end up with a hollowness that also moves electricity in a circle. So you end up with this EBE formation, which we'll call a Birkeland current. It looks like this. It's got counter rotation. You'll see these in the sky or the atmosphere of Jupiter and Saturn from the northern or southern pole view. And they actually do counter rotate. So what is this? What do these symbols really come down to? Well, what we're talking about here is the unified field of Tao, right? And of course, when you combine these, you end up with D, a sense of God that makes sense, where it is ether, it is consciousness, it is heaven, it is dharma, it is this unseen force through which energy and information are moving at all times. It's self-propagating. How it's self-propagating? Again, EBE. Now, as it's propagating, we end up with this concept of yang, where we have an emptiness that is full, right? So we say that true emptiness is not truly empty. And so the emptiness is full. And that is a unified field. That means that's all there is. However, the mind needs a counterpart. And so we end up with a concept of yin, hollow and receptive. Now, yang means the sunny side of the hill, and yin means the dark side of the hill. So it's just, again, the other side of the coin. When in nature, when something is full like this, the energy flows down to fill it up. All right, now, how do we know that Earth is the hollow one and not the full one, like this? Like, how do we know we don't have them backwards? Well, they've done this in space. They take a water drop, and then they fill it with something heavy, and then they spin it, and all the heavy particles float to the outside and form a shell. So that's why we know that the Earth is probably hollow, full of water. Right? And now the water is going to be not pure, and it's going to be different forms of water. There's about 6 or even more different types of water, and then it's going to be full of all sorts of charges and energy, and it's quite dynamic. Now the mantle shell has, of course, a crust upon it, and it is slipping around. There is also an outward growth factor going on, and we have these charges that accumulate, and when they end up opposite each other, it creates a differential in the magnetic field. You do this, and your body does the same thing. Boom, you're attracted to each other. So there you go. Earth is hollowish. Okay. So what does this tell us about the human? Well, if really most of the time we're sending out these signals, what we should be doing is working on our receptiveness to the signals. If we want to get all the free energy to come in through the crown chakra here, then we've got to be receptive. I think it's fascinating that we even have 2 eyes here, and those are each the function of receptive. Our heart should be open, And again, our dantian should be open to receiving information as it comes down, and it fills us up. Now, it will continuously do this. When we combine those three, right, it's interesting, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. When we combine those three yangs, we call that causation or karma. However, in the I Ching, when you combine one over another, the judgment over the image, or the above over the below, you end up with the concept of unending power, unending time. And this is the number one hexagram for heaven. And so it flows downward through, and the goal is to keep us moving. Now, in alchemy,